He wore chains, not of gold, but of steel. A small town cell where time won't heal. She wrote letters, sweet and brief, but her words stand out like a fading leaf. Double R goes hard on a broad, they say. Took her heart, swept her away. Was he wrong or was he right? He gave a new life in the dead of night. Ricky had swagger, a smooth talking flame, dice in his pocket, a death row chain. She wore a red dress, satin and lace. He spun around, put game in her face. Behind these bars, the world turns still, but freedom's price is a bitter pill. Yo. Double R goes hard on a broad, they say. Took her heart, swept her away. Was he wrong or was he right? He gave her new life in the dead of night. Her laugh was the wind, now it cuts like a blade. The scent of a perfume.
You're now watching Compton Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
Man, let's get it cracking, man. Every day is a blessed day. If you think I'm lying, try missing one. You don't want to miss one. You want to wake up and get it cracking every day, man. But anyway, listen, man, I'm scrolling through the YouTube streets, man, and I run across our prophet, man. This dude right here, he go get all the transcripts and he reads strictly from the transcripts. I don't think nothing that he put on here just be made up stuff like half of these cats do, man. This Big U case, this Nipsey Hussle whole incident, man, this whole trial, man, is just nasty work. And this is part of the game, man, when we play in these streets, man. They always watching to take you down, man. There's always people that don't want you in the game, man. But anyway, we're going to get to this, man. But before we do that, let me get a mic check. Is there any echo on the mic? If it's an echo in the mic, or if I'm good, put 2. If I'm good, if it's an echo, put 1. We're going to fix that before we get it cracking, man. I'm waiting on y'all. Y'all going to have to help me out, man. But in the meantime, man, let's go ahead and get strictly to this, man. Let's go.
So let's go back to the breakup of Nipsey Hussle and Big U's business. It was always very vague, like, what was it about? Why did these guys, because Big U put Nipsey with Steve LaBelle, and they got him going. I mean, Nipsey, we know him at the end of being this entrepreneurial guy with his own team, but he didn't start that way. I mean, Big U played a part in him getting started, and he would talk big draws, big draws. He would constantly reference him, and big draws took me here and hooked up that, and they went out to New York, and so they were rocking, and Big U definitely had a value for the early stages of his career. So they were out on a tour bus doing a promotional tour for Nipsey in the mixtape days. This is right before they broke up. The bus kept getting pulled over.
He sicked the police on Nipsey. I get hit at home. They hit 21 people. They think they got him. Anyway, make a long story. He ended up turning himself in, take the case off all of us. He get life, right, for the drugs. When that happened, my team is acting weird. So I'm looking at Steve, I'm looking at Nip. Man, get a paperwork from Sony so they can see that we releasing all this. They acting weird. So, me, I'm still kind of like, hey, I'm hot, hot and heavy, but
Loose Cannon claims Big U was given the information to get the bus pulled over, trying to get Nipsey caught with a gun. Maybe not. I don't know what the strategy of that would be. But what's interesting, you see how excited Big U is talking about it. And if you listen to what he said, it's that a guy he knew had a travel agency and they were sending people on bus tours to drop off the work, to sell work, and they were getting a big bag. So that's why, and U was tied to this guy, so that's why they kept getting on the bus. They were looking for D Ruggs and the guy, and they did, and Big U got picked up. A bunch of people got picked up. Big U was not charged. His buddy took the whole case. Now, for the record, for those of us that have had our fate be under a prosecutor's decision, you can't take someone's case. Like, the prosecutor decides who gets charged. Now, a person can say they're the one who did it or whatever, but so I don't know what he means by the guy took everything and got life. He might have been the only one who ended up with life. I don't know what the logistics of that were. Now, so Big U was tied in with a guy who was sending tour buses out under the guise of his travel agency that really had to work on him. Nipsey was doing a tour, a promo tour. Now, I cannot remember who the hell was talking about this.
And y'all be thinking, man, how these people be knowing all this? Because they going straight to the transcripts, pulling them up, reading all this stuff. Man, this is some crazy shit, man. When they got your ass like this, you is done, man. When they watching your ass and they own you and they own to you and they recording everything, listening to everything, it don't even matter if this shit it don't even got to hit the internet. They already got this shit. This shit is crazy listening to all this shit, man. We know who that is. That's what's the homie name, right?
The Mexicans in Chicago tried to kill Nip.
Yeah. At the concert, Sean, it was fucking 100 Mexicans with colorful Crenshaw shirts on the south side of Chicago. But we went backstage, Nip like, man, hey, keep y'all head up, because, some shit went on back home. He dead now, so I can say it. It's the 60s or whatever, they had robbed the motherfucking cartel for like 300 keys of heroin.
All wearing the same.
And they know he's traveling and this and that, so he was an easy target. They was gonna kill him to hurt the 60s type shit.
We kind of rushed the stage, and then after the thing, they had to run to the tour bus, and there was gonna be some gunplay, or somebody did have to let off some shots. Now that could kind of sound like, remember, this was during the time, well, still, Chicago's, LA's a hub for work, so is Chicago. In a lower cartoon. Could that have been, and then Big U, likes to rob plugs. That's what he went to prison for back in 91. Extortion charges now. He likes to get stuff and not pay. Could some Mexicans somewhere have been owed some money by Big U and them? Or that guy that was sending the work out on the tour buses? So imagine you got a black guy in LA, you know that he's getting work and he's sending it around the country on tour buses. He doesn't pay for a load, he owes. Of course, it's hard, easy to not be found, right? But now they know, oh shit, this rapper that we know this guy is somehow affiliated with or is in the same circuit of people.
Good looking for the super chat, man. It's the loud the mic go, man. Y'all gonna have to bear with me, man. I don't know what's going on with the mic.
Nipsey, he's on the road in a tour bus, and we know this guy sends work out on the tour buses. Let's run up on them. So, well, I'll have to investigate that further. Maybe you can give me some help. There's always some.
So that's why I left music. That was really how I left music. And if you look at it, like, if you see where at some point in our music venture, you only see Steve and Nipsey together. You kind of really don't see me no more. And didn't really know why I had left. But I'm like, if these panicking like this over some that ain't serious, and we in the hip hop game, what if we knock down some?
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I love Steve death, but I'm like, I gotta get away from this. And we weren't making no money then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they made no.
And being really pure with my energy. And I was just only doing music. And I was like suffering financially. You know, the police raided the studio and took all the equipment and put a gun on me that was in the house, a shotgun. It was a registered shotgun, but I was on probation for a gun. So, you know, the probation says you can't be around no guns at all. So they booked me for the gun, took all my equipment, and I was really just in there working. You know what I mean? Just like, they don't know that. Nobody know how pure you are but you. And I was really pure at that time. I wasn't doing nothing but music. You know, it kind of discouraged me for a long time.
So if we think that there's evidence that Big U back in 91, because Big U wasn't the head of the drug thing. He was listed as an enforcer, and he did try to stick the guy up. And he got less time than the other guy, his co-defendant in the conspiracy. So he was not the one in charge, he was the enforcer. So then he has a history of being attached to drug rings and being the muscle, but then when things go sideways, him throwing someone under the bus. Well, literally with this Nipsey Hussle tour bus situation, it kind of sounds like that. So that's, and as you saw, Big U said, oh, when I came back, they were all acting funny. Well, gee whiz. People don't want to get searched for guns and get taken into custody and chased by Mexicans to Chicago and asked by the feds about, are you trafficking drugs on these buses? And then he says, oh, we're in the hip hop industry, we might have to lay somebody down. I mean, you're right, you might, but that's what you're thinking about? You should be trying to not have to. Like, that's always, right, you always may have to do whatever you have to do, but that shouldn't be what you're thinking about. But that's what he was thinking about. That's what he was really into. He was a guy that he liked the street stuff, which...
That's what he supposed to think about. He from the streets. Come over here playing, we gonna lay you down. That's how the street nigga think.
Listen, to be good and make a career in anything, you usually have to like it, right? Some people are just in it for the money, but there's so many opportunities to do stuff in LA. If you're being a criminal, you're into it. You like it. So, I mean, it all kind of makes sense. So Nipsey is like, oh man, this guy has got me being questioned about drugs and guns. And then he himself, his behavior is suspect. Let me get away from this guy. And then he might have been talking bad about, you know, like, oh, what's up with Big U seems suspect, which of course is going to raise Big U's antennas. Big U, as told by Lil Razzie and others, goes over to the studio where Nipsey is to talk about his equipment and ends up throwing a water bottle at Nipsey and hits him. They go outside to fight. Big U's doing his MMA stretching. It's not that Nipsey beat him up. They kind of spar around for a while. Nipsey's smart enough not to let him get too close because Big U is a big guy and trained and all that. It would hurt him if he grabbed him, but he doesn't let Big U grab him. He's much younger. Big U starts to get tired, so they call out another guy, Little.
Man, that's why I respect Nipsey, man. Nipsey got down with him. All these up. We ain't heard nobody else get down with him. Nip got down with him, man.
Little draws and Nipsey go at it a little bit. So he didn't beat up Big U or nothing. But then the other time when Big U makes Nipsey, see, Big U said he went to pick Nipsey up to get his discipline, but they were, from other ways the story is told, they're outside somewhere in the 60s hood, and Big U pulls up and is like, yo, get in or something. And a fight starts, and Big U and his group is getting the best of Nipsey and the other group, but then Fats pulls up, 5'4", stocky Fats, and he's upset. He just gets out and runs and kamikazes you and puts them out his pockets. So if your reputation is of the ultimate enforcer on the streets, you're, to use his own terms on the wiretaps, I'm the last OG still killing people. You can't get, literally, it's one thing to dance around with Nipsey and you're old so you get tired, but neither one of you really punch each other. It's another thing for Fats to actually hit you in the chin and knock you down. And listen, anybody can get knocked down because I don't care, there's no muscles on your chin or nose. You catch.
How y'all think he know all this, man? He reading this strictly from the transcripts, man. He ain't just making this up. That's crazy. They already know what they know, man.
Okay, more on the Big U case. Of course, the most serious charge against him is taking the life of that young man out in Vegas, Rashawn R.W. I think that Big U's big problem may come down to Big Pimpin' Jamal Rashid, a.k.a. Molly Maul. Now, this may not be a part of the case. He's not in the indictment, but he's at the edge of it. So he's one of the people, when there was that footage of Loose Cannon beating up a producer for not paying, that was Molly Maul. And if you read the indictment, and there's all that stuff about the studio in Vegas and letting him use time and all that, it doesn't say it, and no one's saying it, but if you read between the lines, and then I did find there's all these Big U's court, well, USA versus Henley court docket is full now. There's a lot of stuff in there. Motion to suppress wiretaps. So a lot of information had to come out, and one of the phones, and it redacts one of his names, but you see one of the other names. So that's definitely his studio that the murder would have happened at. And who else would clean up behind Big U? Jamal Rashid is somebody he's been, you could call extorting, but they've had a symbiotic relationship. Remember, when you got the muscle, you know, that's part of Jamal Rashid extorting others. And then you just got to break off to the big dog, you know, because Molly Maul has been presented as used to be kind of during the golden age of pop rap, you know, the Ja Rule 56, you know, I don't know, maybe like 06 to 2014 or something. He was pretty big. I think he produced Justin Bieber song, like a lot of big stuff, but of course it was just him putting his name on other people's stuff, and Big U would get free studio time. And again, here's a clip of Loose Cannon jumping on Molly Maul on Sunset Boulevard. This was right before the indictment.
Hey, this another cat I miss on the internet. Loose Cannon, man. Loose Cannon, he was one of them guys. He'd talk about he was an idiot, but at the same time, man, he was with the business, man. We can't take that from him.
Why you do that for? Yeah. What is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you, yo? Fucked up, nigga.
I always tell you, you know, when you're doing stuff, if the people around you, if there's leverage that can be applied to them, like when do people tell? people don't really want to tell just to be, especially if someone's already sort of in the criminal underworld or they have a high profile. Even regular people don't really like to go down to the court, just not because of no snitching. It's just you're exposing yourself, you're causing problems for criminals. Police put pressure on people, drug addicts. Detroit police was infamous for, oh, you're a drug addict, you saw a murder. Well, we're gonna snatch you up and just kind of hold you on these whole ass misdemeanor or low felony drug possession charges for months until the trial comes. But they would secretly be bringing them D-rugs to keep them there. But that's another story. So who is Jamal Rashid, aka Molly Maul? He was he was on a reality TV show. And he was kind of a big deal.
That's the one who they said had Sharice Mills. That's why loose cannon. They say that's really why he whipped his ass. They say he didn't whip his ass for anything else because he was bragging about, allegedly, having Sharice Mills, man.
But then his career became profoundly overshadowed, to say the least, by a huge federal criminal case involving a long-running prostitution ring in Las Vegas. Isn't prostitution legal there, Al? Well, no, it's legal in other parts of the state of Nevada. It's not legal in the city of Las Vegas, and that's of course why you have trafficking cases and etc. And Jamal Rashid's case, this is where, you know, Big U, Jamal Rashid, they're playing in the big leagues with celebrities, with rich people, with the police. Because once you start doing big stuff, and when I say Big U is playing with the police, I mean, I'm not saying he's an informant, but who knows what anybody does. But getting money from the government over here and then being a gangster over there, you're playing with the police. The system is part of your overall hustle. So to be really a real gangster, I always say you have to be doing something with the police or the government. Not necessarily snitching, but like their part, because the government is a big part of the economy. You can't, if you ain't touching the government, you ain't touching no real money.
He gonna have everybody out here. Hey man, that's what a real gangster was about. I know that was, well, I heard back in the days when you see them Al Capone movies, they was paying the police off. I don't know if he was paying the police off, but man, that's crazy. To be a real gangster, you got to be tied in, huh?
So over the span of a decade, Rashid orchestrated an illicit business that operated behind thin veneer of legitimate escort services, and he got mixed up in human trafficking, exploitation, and exotic animal smuggling.
The I-Team has learned a little bit more about why there's been a delay. Jamal Rashid, also known as Molly Maul, admitted he was a pimp in Las Vegas. He faced federal charges and pled guilty to use of an interstate facility in aid of unlawful activity.
His production credits, now, did he really produce this stuff? Probably not. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Usher, Tyga, Drake. That's right, he had a Drake song. Snoop Dogg and Justin Bieber. He had a huge mansion in Vegas. But again, he was a guy that was meeting a lot of these people as part of the Vegas lifestyle. And he was providing some of them with things, including girls. In fact, it was such a big operation. So he was on Love and Hip Hop. He flaunted his mansion, his luxury vehicles, exotic animals. Some of them were illegal. His exotic animal thing made international headlines when he gave Justin Bieber a capuchin monkey named OG Molly, which was later confiscated by German customs authority. Now, who is Molly Maul? Brazilian of Lebanese descent. Looks like he takes steroids. Egyptian. He calls himself the Egyptian god of music. So he's Egyptian, of Egyptian ethnicity, but I think grew up in Brazil. His Egyptian god of music name masked a dark and highly organized criminal enterprise. Court records and plea agreements reveal that roughly from April 2002 to September 2014. So how do you run a big, wide open, everyone kind of sees it, high-end pro ring in Vegas, where they have a big vice squad? And the thing about Vegas, it's Sin City on the one hand, but on the other hand, you know, it's a place families come. They can never let it get too seedy and out of control. And the legal brothels are out in Clark County away from the city, or they may be in a different county, I'm not sure. But Vegas prostitution is not legal in the city of Vegas. So he owned something called Las Vegas Escorts. He even had something called Molly Maul and Platinum, which were reported to be legal escort agencies. And he raked in a lot of money. He used Backpage when that was open, Eros.
They say this crazy how people that's not even from this culture know all this, and they talk about it and they make profit off of it. Whereas definitely on the internet, and they definitely going to read these transcripts. And once you put yourself in these situations, man, everybody gonna talk about you. It don't matter who you. They talk about Jesus. Think they ain't gonna talk about him? He went and paid his money, went and got them transcripts. This is what I'm saying. When you do crime, man, I used to think you could win in this shit, man. Now that I'm older, you can't win. Ain't no such thing as no goddamn winning in no crime. Your ass get caught, man. Your ass is done. Everybody makes money off the criminal. The police, the judge, the ambulance, the people that come clean the blood off of the streets. Everybody win off this shit. Except you.
Hundreds and hundreds, maybe up to 1,000 women. The operation was meticulously controlled and often brutal. This is from the federal indictment. Rashid categorized the women under his control into two distinct tiers: independents and priority girls. The independents, those were women he would call and send and split the play with them. The priority girls was more like some pimping. They might live in a mansion with them and give up all the money. The methods Rashid employed to maintain control over these women mirrored the psychological and physical tactics of a highly coercive PIMP. Women working for him were subject to intense surveillance, GPS trackers, hidden cameras installed in their own condominiums if he got them their own place. They had to ask permission to see a gynecologist. Rashid's control extended to the typical psychological manipulation, making them get tattoos of him or his brand on them, signifying ownership, something that goes on in that world a lot. According to testimony in court documents and surveillance, he routinely threatened them, and he used actual physical violence. And one particularly chilling detail presented during his sentencing to court noted Rashid strictly prohibited women from speaking to black men under the paranoid rationale that other black men in Las Vegas were high chance that they were themselves trying to be pimps and would poach the girls. And so the presiding judge likened these conditions to a form of imprisonment and enslavement. Now, some shit that sounds like kind of whatever when you're doing it. Don't talk to black guys and this and that. When you're in a court.
Oh, that's why we can't get no he's-os. They be telling them, don't talk to us. You son of a bitch.
And you're reading this out loud. That's why they started calling it trafficking and having these heavy charges. Like, you're keeping, at its most extreme, using psychological methods, you're keeping people in bondage. So people are upset about that. Now, how the hell did he go on for so long? Internal communications from the Las Vegas Metro PD revealed that the Vice unit had pulled up on him at a casino in 2009. He was in a Rolls Royce, and we're like, who is this guy? And they were going to get on him. The higher-ups were told, he's not a priority, or...
Attorneys for a convicted pimp say they have uncovered new evidence now to bolster their accusations about widespread corruption among former Metro Vice cops.
Now, the allegations raised in new court documents are believed to closely parallel an ongoing corruption investigation by the FBI. As the I-Team reported exclusively, the FBI probe started back in 2014.
And in fact, the allegations surfaced that corrupt Vice detectives were actively protecting his enterprise in exchange for bribes, him setting up, because they got to make busts, him setting up rival pimps, and of course, spending fun time with some of the girls. This all crumbled in 2014 when the FBI and California Department of Fish and Wildlife, because he had all these exotic animals, executed multi-agency raids in his Las Vegas home. That's where the studio Now, I don't know if he got a new house, but I think that's where the studio where Big U's homicide occurred of a young guy. And he had an Encino mansion. So if Big U's extorting him, also, you know, maybe Big U's just getting what he's got coming, because I'm sure Molly Maul, part of your, okay, he's a big guy and he might be intimidating, but plus I got, whenever you come over to my studio, whenever you see me, I got 3-4 big gang members with me. I'm down with the roller 60s, so that adds to the intimidation. This is organized crime. I think we see here in the blueprint, listen, if I were a rolling 60 or any other street gang member in any city, I would look towards the next few years. They haven't, well, depending what jurisdiction you're in, and they haven't necessarily made as many RICO cases as you might think, but they may start piecing together people in different states and calling them, you know, interstate trafficking of
I'm a devoted Christian. Today is Sunday. I want to tell everybody that God is the way to go. Y'all better listen to this nigga, man.
Various things. You bring a girl, if I take a girl from Detroit, if she tells me, you're going back to LA, I'm gonna go out there and make some money, I'm just gonna be on the plane with you, I'm broke, just buy my ticket, and when I make some money, I give it to you in LA, and I get out there and I know some guys that be whatever, that do this and that, and I introduce her. Boom, I'm in trafficking right there. Even though I may not even think of it like that, that's enough for a conspiracy. So watch yourself. If you're going to do crime, but don't
get caught. That's what you need to say. You can do crime, just don't get caught. I'm done with crime. I'm going to stick to YouTube and fixing on my cars and shit like that. I'm done with crime is over with for me.
Dabble at the edges. I'm not in it. I don't do favors. I'm not in it. Anything serious, you got to stay out of it. So we took the raid in 2014. There's these swirling allegations of
You're right.
a protection racket within the police. And meanwhile, while Molly Maul, the Egyptian, who didn't let his girls talk to black men,
I don't even want to talk to his ass if he didn't let his hoes. We can't even talk about him no more if he didn't let his hoes talk to black men. Oh, sucker. He the reason why you can't go buy a hoe on Fig. Now check this out, man. This is one of those guys who really put a twist on everything, and we thought it was all content. I thought it was content, but look at this here. Y'all gonna trip off this. Whoever seen it, you seen it. If you didn't, now it all makes sense. Look at this nigga here.
Yeah. But this crazy calls me the other day, and I was doing something. You know, you're doing something, you kind of listen to somebody talk, but you doing some other shit. Mm-hmm. And this dude did some shit, made me drop some shit.
Uh-oh.
I misplaced a little, I was putting together our remote control car. I didn't misplace.
Look how whack play this nigga right here, man. Look at this. This is if you ever seen a nigga get played on the internet, look how whack played this, man, I ain't got nothing to say about it. And then look at her across from me. They don't even know what's going on, man.
It's a piece, I still can't find it. And I told him, and you know me, Adam, if I get some information or some content, I'm going to fry your ass up.
Yeah,
I said, nephew, this content I can't present. You got to present it because you ain't lied to me yet. Because he's behind a lot of that you've seen, you just didn't know it was him.
Okay.
We're going to tell you off camera.
What kind of stuff?
He's behind a lot of that if you see it on YouTube, you just say no, it was him. So I know he ain't no bull, but man, listen.
No, so
yeah, you gotta elaborate on this shit.
I got to, because at the end of the day, it's like dealing with, like, you know, when you're in hood politics and stuff like that. And well, let me go back where it first started, right? So I ended up whooping Molly Maul ass, right? Put it on camera.
Now y'all seen the video before that where he did it. Now look, he's talking about it. Before all this stuff hit the internet, this nigga talking about it. I thought he was bullshit. This nigga really did what he talking about.
Guy named Big U. It's cool. They used to be brothers, right?
Then you talking about Big U and Molly Maul.
No, Big U, Molly Maul, and you.
Yes.
Molly Maul, who you're friends with.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Right. Yeah, they used to be. They were all
Still
my brother.
He put us on the phone together.
Still my brother.
Yeah. Molly Maul is a good dude. He just a scammer. So
Molly's not a scammer.
Allegedly.
Molly Maul is a scammer on crazy.
You and Molly Maul
But they
is good.
cool. They still.
Now y'all hear her in the background. She about to go on one because it was them alleged allegations. She wasn't talking until they brung up his name.
Oh, me and Molly Maul is good.
He talks the truth, regardless
Molly's
they
not
like
a
it or
fucking
not.
scammer.
I fuck
You
with a
know
bunch
what?
of scammers.
This is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
look,
All the business I've ever did with Molly, he always delivered.
No, have you ever
just
seen
do
Molly
music.
Maul produce a song?
He has the producers.
No, have
Pooh
you
Bear,
ever,
nigga,
Pooh Bear is a writer. Pooh Bear is.
He makes the
Justin
studio
Bieber,
available.
yeah.
He provides the beats.
And then-
he demos them. And then when people pull up, he press play. I got a hit. The Game and Jeremiah joint.
No,
came from Molly.
he's just saying though, he just puts his name on things. He don't really do it.
A whole bunch of these producers do
right
that.
about
That's
that.
smart.
Shut up, Sitch. You done left him already. Shut your ass up.
I
You
wanna
know
start
that
doing
shit.
You right about
That's
that.
true.
That's a fact. Go ahead. We listen.
Okay, so basically, after I whipped Molly Maul ass for doing some bullshit, and then and Molly Maul would tell you, he was like, I was in the wrong, I was fucked up, I was going to jail, I was off drugs and stuff like that. I was just fucked up. So I don't know why I play with you like that.
I don't know that, Molly. I guess when I come around, I've never seen him do drugs or none of that shit.
Yeah. So, I told him that, and then I guess Big U told Molly Maul some shit.
Wack is looking at him like Ike Turner looked at Tina Turner in that movie when he told her to sing that song. Sing that song, ho.
Shit. And then when Big U told Molly Maul some shit, he told you. Molly Maul told you.
He definitely told me some
And then
shit.
you called Big U, and when you called Big U, he got mad because you outed him or Molly Maul outed him. So he basically said, fuck you and fuck Molly Maul. So
that's why he got mad at me?
He got mad at you because you called him as a man and you stepped to him and he felt...
Because Molly Maul's supposed to be his brother. I've seen Molly Maul bail him out of jail, give him his mansion, just give him the fucking mansion and say, here go the keys of my cars, you my brother, I love you. When he was short on money, Molly Maul go in his pocket, look out for him. I saw Molly Maul help his artists, give him free beats. So when I hear some shit like that, because it was a situation on Sunset, Molly Maul's eating. You see some guys pull up and they get at Molly Maul, right?
Saying what?
They get at it, ain't no saying nothing. Action.
Loose Cannon about to tell it all, man. I swear I thought Loose Cannon was creating content. I swear to God, I thought he was on here just creating. This cat right here, man.
They beat his ass.
They beat his ass. Okay.
They get at him, right? That's Loose. So I'm like, so I get the call, right? I'm like, he like, yo, I say, yo, who was that? He like Loose Cannon. I say, what Loose? I say, where you from? Because I know it ain't him. Because Big U from 6-0. Ain't no way Loose get that Molly Maul like that. So when he say Loose Cannon, I'm like, from where? He like 6-0. I say, wait, that was Loose that did you like that? I said, hold on. So I called Big U. Hey, man, why is Loose doing that to bro? Now, you got to remember, me and Molly do real business. I come get a beat from him. You know, I pay him for his beat, give him his points. We got to hit him and Game and Jeremiah came from Molly, right? So Big U, like, laughs the shit off, right? So I'm like, yo, bro, what kind of shit you on? I thought Molly is, you know what I'm saying? What kind of shit you on?
Yeah.
Right? So then, you know, he started to make mention.
Big U ass is grass. I hate to say that, man. His ass is grass. And I'm going to tell y'all why. If Loose Cannon got on this stand, man, on this TV, whatever, this YouTube shit, and talked about real shit when everybody thought he was making content, what do y'all think he gonna do in that courtroom? He already did it right here. The nigga really done told real shit right here. His ass is, his ass is done. He might as well go ahead and tell God forgive him for his sins and go find him a sheep.
Of certain things, and I get.
Yeah, I know what he do with that sheep.
Yes, he must have called you back or called Molly back. He called Molly back and said, you called Wack? And told Wack, and at this point in time, Molly like, fuck me calling Wack. What's up with your homeboys doing me like that? You know, I didn't let your kids stay. I didn't did everything in the world for you. What's up with your... And at that point in time, I think Molly's light came on.
Yeah, but see, people don't understand, like Big U, he got his name for dealing with like niggas like me. So it's not like...
Oh my goodness, homie. You deserve one of these. Where is that? Hold on.
You was done, boy.
He actually doing work or putting in work himself or whatever. He just do it and then put his name on. Same thing like what Molly Maul do. Molly Maul act like he made this beat and take a picture in front of the studio, but actually he's selling you somebody else's product. You get what I'm saying? That's what Big U do. He finesse niggas. He acting
But is
like
that somebody's product? Because if Molly Maul provide the workplace, he provide the tools, and he say, yo,
and don't
I'm gonna let you work here, and we're gonna cut this shit up. My influence is gonna bring the artist here to move the product. I never heard Molly say he did some beat.
But what kind of shit are you saying that Big U does that
we
he
hearing
then
this shit.
stamps but doesn't actually do? You're talking about like street shit?
Yeah, they're like street shit. So basically, say if I go do something in the hood, right, and he knows about it, he'll tell everybody in the hood.
Like it's him.
So, like it's him, but then they be calling me. It was like, cuz you just did this, and I'm like, cuz that's like some police shit. Because why would you be telling, if me and you is the only person that know what we did, it shouldn't even go between.
Are you woke, Loose?
Of course.
Are you woke now?
Yeah.
Are you woke? This is the coldest setup I didn't ever seen in my life. Now y'all know what? Y'all remember when Loose Cannon got on the internet and was talking about Wack and he was clowning him and dissing him. Now you see, nigga, are you woke? Nigga, make sure you woke, cause nigga, you ain't saying what we talk. You ain't saying, nigga, you ain't saying the right shit. This ain't what you told me the other day, nigga. Yeah, nigga, say I told you this is Ike and Tina Turner saying that song over there. Oh, you ain't saying it right, Anime.
You know why he's putting it out there, right?
Of course.
He got to get that credit from that 7-7 street contract.
Of course. So at the end of the day, it's like, I realized like, damn, it's 2023 and you got a BlackBerry. Like they didn't even.
How long have I been asking you about that BlackBerry?
Since 2015.
So that's the phone that he got?
Yeah, his name in the contract, 7th Street Division issued him a BlackBerry as a police issue phone to report all gang violence in his grid area. And this is an annual contract. If he doesn't produce, then they take it. He's been having a contract 10, 11 years. He did such a great job. He went from $550,000 a year. They gave him a $440,000 bonus. We send the contract. But listen, fuck all that.
Yeah. So basically, it's like, cause he'll be like he'll manipulate things. Like we'll go and do something, and the same niggas we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to counting everything, right?
And this is all in the transcripts. This shit is in the transcripts, boy. This is like taking candy from a baby.
And we be like, how the fuck they get that? Oh, well, we're going to just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But cuz it's actually putting us in paperwork, right? And like doing like real police shit. I seen the nigga get like 20 guns. And when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like, he was doing like shit like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like,
I'm done with his ass. They need to send him to Alcatraz. Don't even send him to a good prison. Send him to Alcatraz. Let's get back over here. He over here read from the transcripts. Now he gonna read all the shit that Loose Cannon talking about, man.
You know it's serious when they come with the superseding indictments. Eugene Henry, Big U, has been hit with the superseding indictment. Another indictment, I guess. Yesterday, evening or something. I'm trying to get on my Pacer monitor to get the documents, but it's telling me I'm blocked from Pacer for some reason. I don't know, so I'm going to have to call Monday, even though I pay my monthly fee. But anyway, so Big U has been hit with a superseding indictment. I know you've seen, or some of you've seen the other, probably other references or clickbait videos. I don't, saying stuff about Nipsey Hussle and all that. All that stuff is already in the first big indictment, which I already read through for you. So I'm going to put up part of that in the next video. I'm going to put that, we'll put the essence of that back up so you can see that again. Because I don't know how much new, I don't think there's anything very, any more serious than what's already been in the first indictment. But some of the things that they just mentioned in the first indictment, for example, him threatening to kill Whack 100, them chasing Whack 100 at the concert, talking about having other people beat up, those are being added as overt acts. And overt acts are the scariest part. Why everyone should be, not everyone if you're not committing a crime, but what makes the RICO law so dangerous in the hands of a prosecutor, because
man, the movie directors need to get on this. This is going to be the best movie in the world, man. Y'all think New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society was some shit? This going to be a cold movie when this shit come out here.
They can mention things that you're not being charged with as a crime. Like, just because they're turning like the Whack 100 stuff into an overt act does not mean Whack 100 made a police report, or, I don't know what Whack 100 did or didn't do, but don't think that. It just means if it's racketeering, it's a RICO, these are just part of your continuing pattern of criminality. They don't have to be listed as a crime. Often sometimes in real bad cases where there's a lot of murders, they may only charge you, like the Best Friends in Detroit, the gang from the 80s, the Hitman gang. They charge them with maybe 15 murders per se, like exact murders. But they mentioned 40 or something. And you would think, well, how can you just mention something? Doesn't that prejudice like a jury or judge against? But that's what a RICO is. It's, even if we can't charge you with these things individually, we're going to mention them all. So they added the overt acts. I think that in reference to Nipsey Hussle, they added overt acts of him on phone calls. Remember, this is all in the first indictment, and I'm going to repost some part of that in a little while. I'm not beefing with Nipsey Hussle, because if I had been beefing with him, he would have been dead. Well, he was dead by that time, so you take that for what it means. He's saying, I'm the hunter of the Rolling 60s. I'm the big, Nipsey wasn't bigger than me. I'm the biggest Rolling 60.
And he reading all this from the transcripts. He might as well go ahead and get him a girlfriend up in here. His ass grass.
Now, a statement like that is equivalent, for the prosecutors, them saying that some members of the Rolling.
Rip Nipsey Hussle, man. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man. Let's get a moment of silence real quick for Nipsey Hussle. Now y'all start sending them super chats in so I can give me some more of this whole good shit here. I know y'all wondering what this shit is. This is why I'm going live. It's this shit right here. Send them super chats so we can get some more of this shit. We gonna keep going live. Y'all keep sending this shit.
The 60s are organized crime. That's like a guy saying he ain't the boss of the Gambino crime family. I am. So that's why these things are being turned. So all this stuff was in the initial 103 or 132 page, whatever, indictment. They just weren't, they were just like background. Now they're overt acts proving an ongoing RICO conspiracy. So if you're saying that Big U ran something called the Henley Enterprise that overlapped with some portion of the Rolling 60 Street Gang, him saying, I'm the biggest Rolling 60, I'm the hunter, anyone says anything against me, I, period, will, period, kill him, period. Nipsey couldn't have been beefing with me because if he was, I would have killed him. These are all proof. When his son got killed, which is sad, but I don't know anything about it, but obviously one would think someone took the opportunity to Big U and whatever, his muscle being locked up or people jumping ship to kill his son, because maybe somebody feels like Big U killed their son. I'm sure many people do, or some people do. Whether he did or not, I couldn't tell you. So, the new charges are new crimes, are stuff like introducing contraband to a prison. So,
is it me or do this cat remind y'all of Lush from No Jumper? Remind me of Lush. He talk like Lush, but he reading the shit that he getting it straight from the transcripts. It ain't like he making this shit up.
Selling cell phone, I guess recently having people take cell phones into prisons and selling them. Maybe some of it is drugs into prison, and the prosecutor describes it as Big U's enterprise, even included preying on inmates by selling them phones and drugs. So I don't know if you're in prison and you wanted a cell phone and Big U had someone bring it up and you paid for it, I don't know if you'd think of it as him preying on you, but that's what the prosecutors say. So there is
no, we not disrespecting Al Prophet at all. He's a real content creator. He ain't doing no reactions. He doing his research, homework. He coming on here doing it how you supposed to do content. He's a real content creator. We wouldn't even have no content today if he wouldn't have took the time out and read the transcripts. He wouldn't have did it. He wouldn't have paid his money, got the transcripts. He ain't on here just talking. He not talking from feelings or emotional standpoint. And no, he going straight for the facts of what he reading, man. There ain't no disrespect to this cat right there. He definitely did his research. It's tripping me out as well.
No new revelations about, something to do with Nipsey Hussle. If you don't know what I think happened with Nipsey Hussle, if you didn't see what my take on it, I think circumstantial evidence points to, they had a fight in front of people, and this led to him getting on the phone with different people saying, I'm the biggest Rolling 60, he's not bigger than me. Nipsey did not disavow his gang membership, so there was probably this struggle, or at least an unspoken struggle of who. But Nipsey had to be it would be more attractive to be part of his crew because he's a celebrity.
Nipsey was the shit. Nipsey was the shit, man. Nipsey younger than me, but he was the shit. Nipsey, man, listen, I used to go to Vegas and go to work, man, out there, and I was doing construction, man. I bumped that Nipsey Hussle all the way to Vegas, man, all the way back. Nipsey was the shit, man. Nipsey used to talk that shit that motivates your ass.
Celebrity, and was generating, he might not have been generating more money. Hard to say. Sounds like, Big U was picking up. It does, in a summary of it, I think there's more overt acts of pressing different business people. He threatened to, he was in some business in South LA and they weren't going to give him a discount. He said he was going to tear the place up. It seems like he was kind of carrying himself like a mafia boss. Everywhere I go, hey, I want this, give me some of that, my hand in your pocket, I want some of what you got, donate some money, give me this, buy me that. And you made a mistake by putting yourself in his orbit. Now, I wonder, though, they're going to have to get I wonder who's going to testify against him. Some of these celebrities or business people, other than that Mark Morrison, the weed shop owner, he's no good his testimony's not gonna put anybody in prison for a long period of time, because I don't want to misspeak, but he had some pimping charges, and you know what comes with that. What type of registration comes with that? He had mailing drugs to Ohio. I mean, so a defense attorney could make him look bad on the stand. They're going to have to get some of these celebrities. If they're going to call what Big U was doing extortion, somebody's going to have to say they gave the money under duress. Like they keep showing Draymond Green and Shaq, and I know it's fun on the internet to say, boy, it's extorting, and you know, but is it really extortion, or were those guys donating to something and Big U and them were just pilfering the money? Brick Baby may be subject to some other indictment as well, though, too. I'll have to do a separate thing on that, but there's all in some of the motions to suppress. There's some more.
Not Brick the trick. Brick not the trick. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Y'all keep on sending them super chats, boy. We're going to keep these lives going. I'm going to keep on buying. It's that courage juice. This shit right here, boy, make you jump off a goddamn high-rise building.
Or wiretaps. It shows part of the wiretaps. He has extensive conversations about selling people guns. Multiple guns. And talking about having narcotics, his bags marked with a T. Now, if that was, I think that was just, might have been putting his weed in the dispensaries that Big U would go rob. And it was like, well, whatever you rob, if it has a T on it, give it back to me. But Brick Baby has a lot of gun sale stuff. And they had wiretaps on Big U in this is mentioned in the motion to suppress, like 2016, 2018. Some of it was out of Georgia. There's wiretap stuff and maybe rolling 60 type stuff out of Georgia. And we know Quando Rondo had his indictment. I wouldn't be shocked to find out Quando Rondo told them about, provided some information about Big U or something that led to a wiretap, because Quando Rondo was indicted in Macon? Where's he from? Savannah, Macon, for a rolling 60 thing, and there is wiretaps that were put on Georgia phones or out of Georgia on Big U. So they were on Big U for years. I think that the murder of Rayshawn Williams out in Las Vegas is what caused them to.
I'm finna go get me a pager and start sending me a goddamn. Y'all remember in them old movies when they used to take a note, they'd write a note and put it on one of them birds, and them birds would fly the note to your house. Fuck that shit. Hey, I'm going back to the old days, nigga. I put notes on birds, nigga.
Bring the case in, because they had been wiretapping and all that, but he never did anything that was quite. See, the same exact thing happened to Suge Knight. There's a bunch of stuff about Suge Knight, same exact stuff, getting money from athletes, businesses, taking stuff from people, making people buy him stuff, but it was never quite, because remember, like, the stuff is serious and is bad, but a federal prosecutor, especially in a big ass city like LA, well, there's crazy stuff going on, right? I mean, there's gang stuff where they got 8 murders, 12 murders, Mexican mafia, white skinhead killing people in prison and all kind of crazy stuff. Not to mention huge drug stuff, not to mention massive fraud, billion-dollar fraud cases. So they got some gang member who's beat.
They about to be in there making love in there too. You forgot to say that. They in there making love too. Shit, they ain't never getting home. They might as well get them a girlfriend.
People up and, making, somebody give them some money or taking somebody rapper's chain at a club. It's just not enough of a priority. A lot of people, many people, I'm sure I've been on phone talking about minor crimes. It's just not a priority. The feds are there to indict high-level cases. And the Big U stuff didn't, he knew, I don't know if it was just luck or he knew how to do it to where it's kind of like people know what you're doing, but it's not quite enough to like I know people who made significant sales to a federal undercover, but it took the police, the DEA, some time to get in the house, and they flushed the bulk of it, and they only...
Boy, Loose Cannon better smuggle some crazy glue up in there and some scissors and stitch them stitches. He better glue his ass up, because they gonna get him up in there, boy. He gonna be loosey-goosey up in there.
You probably pictured a street rule, not a federal case file. But in this indictment, prosecutors describe an alleged system where certain people, artists, athletes, hustlers, anyone with money, were expected to make a call before moving around Los Angeles. And that call allegedly came with a price. And that's the first twist. The government isn't painting this as one bad incident or one messy argument. They're describing an enterprise, a crew with roles, rules, and a business model. Not just muscle, but image. Not just fear, but influence. Podcasts, interviews, community programs, stuff that looks clean on camera, mixed with allegations that get very ugly behind the scenes. At the center is Eugene Henley Jr., better known as Big U, described as a rolling 60s OG and the alleged leader of what prosecutors call the Big U enterprise. They also named Sylvester Robinson, Vay, as an alleged underboss and enforcer, and Mark Martin, Bearclaw, as a trusted lieutenant tied to a custom car shop and the label side of the operation. Now here's what makes people lean in.
This nigga sound like Barry White, nigga. You trying to get a bitch off of here. You ain't trying to talk about this, nigga. You trying to sound sexy as a motherfucker.
Prosecutors claim this whole case has two faces. The public face is community, protection, mentorship, keeping the peace. The other face, according to the indictment, is extortion, robberies, fraud, and intimidation, all held together by a reputation that made people think twice before saying no. And before we even get to the money, the indictment anchors the story around a Vegas trip that prosecutors say changed everything. A music studio, a rising artist, a confrontation that started as business and allegedly ended as a fatal night. So the real question isn't just what happened. The question is, why would anyone risk building a whole public brand if the private side could bring federal heat? Because once you see the Vegas timeline, the rest of this case reads like dominoes.
Yeah, nigga, you ain't about to fuck my ear with that old slick ass sweet talking you saying. Man, listen, man, all these dudes, man, in this case right here, this would be a good movie. Y'all better hope that Big U get some time, because if he don't, he gonna whoop all of y'all ass when he get out. Man, yeah, this is a cold case, man. Man, free all these guys. Everybody is innocent and proven guilty, man. These transcripts is crazy, man. If he beat this, boy, he better go out and be a Catholic priest or something. He better get him a new job if he get up out of this. But the way it's looking, man, man, this all bad, and this ain't nothing but education for everybody else, man. Y'all out there doing crime, don't get caught. Get you some money. When you get you some money, learn how to invest it. Cause spending your money on hoes. Stay off Fig, man. Spending y'all cash on Fig. Stay off Fig, man, and go invest y'all money in a dump truck. Get y'all a business so y'all ain't got to continue to do crime. Cause man, the internet, once they find out your crime history, man, they gonna wear your ass ease out. in loose cannon, if I was you, I'd give me some Elmer's glue, the kind that we had in elementary school when we used to put the macaroni and all that shit on the paper and glue your ass up, because they going to wear you out up in there. You going to get pregnant up in there, man. It's Compton Rick Rock. Y'all hit that like, man. Y'all subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed, and I catch all of y'all on the next one.
You're now watching Compton Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.